As we have got to the top left-hand corner, our blue Zerg player. This is Dark. Here on Neon Violet Square, one of these older maps that has been brought back to the map pool because why not, I suppose. I mean, there's actually a lot of reasons why not, but alas, here we are anyway. Dark in the top left corner takes on the Red Terran. In the bottom right corner of the map, we have ByuN as we kick off into game 1 of this best of 3. Strongest Terran versus toughest Zerg. Oh, that's a fun way to put this one. Thanks so much for hosting this tourney and contributing so much to the SC2 scene. Hope you're doing well, Wardy. Yeah, thanks so much for coming and watching it, mate. And thank you for the kind words. Very happy to be here, bringing you guys as much StarCraft 2 content as we can. That has always been our goal here on WardiTV, and that is not changing anytime soon. Our goal will continue to be to bring you guys all of the best, as much StarCraft 2 content as we possibly can. Everything we do is in the interest of seeing even more StarCraft 2 happening, you know, so we'll keep that going into 2025. 2025 is a pretty cool year, guys. 2025 marks 10 years of WardiTV being a full-time endeavor for me. I actually rebranded to WardiTV in 2016, so WardiTV itself is 10 years old in 2026. October 2026 to be exact, so that's a little bit away, but I actually went full-time when I finished university, and that was 10 years ago, and this coming June, so we are going to have the Wardy 10-year full-time anniversary, which is pretty hecking ridiculous when you stop to think about it. Like, we just decided to go and do this whole thing and have some fun casting StarCraft 2, and here we are 10 years later, you know? Hey, thank you so much for another level 2, I believe an anonymous one, on the Star Trek Fleet Command. I super appreciate that. Thank you so much. Continue to throw those, or to check out, I say throw those things out there, but just checking out the game, getting the levels. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Growlung, thank you so much for the 11-month resub on the Prime as well. I appreciate it. Have you found that some players embrace the old maps more than others? Yes. Because some players are just like, this is freaking stupid. These maps, I don't know if there's really a divide, but I think some people very strongly believe we should have just had new maps, and there's a lot of new maps that would have been good. And then I think a lot of people are like, I think a lot of people look at these maps and have good memories and are a little bit open to them, but these maps are outdated. Like, these maps were designed for a stage, or these maps were designed and played in an era of the game that is extremely different to the modern-day StarCraft 2. And while some of it translates, I actually think there's a lot of problems on these maps, personally. I'm not going to delve into them, but I think there's a lot of things on these maps which just don't make them necessarily unfun to watch, but I just think other maps would have been better met if we had some other maps kind of join in or something, so yeah. I don't know, maybe it's okay to kind of look back in the past and kind of, be like, oh, how do these maps work? But I don't know. Maybe like one old map would have been cool. I just think 3 old maps is really overkill, especially because it's all 3 like really macro-y kind of focus maps as well. They all do the same thing to me, which is create long games because they're just extremely defendable. I think Abyssal Reef is perhaps the most interesting, so yeah. I see the Hellions coming about. A couple of Lings are going to take some damage as well. Fire up a few shots there. Give me 1 sec, just trying to... There we go. Alright, 3 Marines coming over. Who's going to be seeing the Queens trying to fight against that, as we do have the medevac drop being denied, but the Hellions are going to get to run into this left side base, and they're going to be able to go for some damage. So we got 6 drones, going to make it 7, and slow Zerglings are just about going to be surrounding well enough to clean this up and to push that back. So those Hellions will continue to go down. These maps are new to you. But I mean, that's nice as well, that kind of people get to see the old maps. So I mean, to be fair, like, they're new to me as well in the sense that, like, we've just not seen them for so long. I just think the design of these maps is... Honestly, I think there's so many old maps they could have gone to where it would have been more fun. I actually think the reason they picked these maps is because they're so macro-focused, it's difficult for them to struggle in other ways, which is what I think might have happened if they picked other old maps. Might have been that it's like, oh, well, this is very clearly OP for this kind of strategy. Like, you could never make a map like this right now, in this current day of StarCraft 2. And so when you think of it like that, I'm like, yeah, exactly, right? So yeah, maybe that's a way that it could potentially play. It's just going to be seeing a Banshee going through, a couple drones going down. Marines are going to be there to get a little bit of a pick-off as well, so just doing everything possible. As the Banshee continues to chase the Queen around for a few moments, going to see the Banshee still cloaked up. Queens are going to hang about. And now the upgrades continue to come through. The Overseer coming online. Again, drones, hatcheries, extractors, and spores all continue to come up as our barracks will come through as well from ByuN. Not a lot of variety with the choices. Oh no, I completely agree. I think they chose all three of these maps completely macro. I think because they were like, well, if we're going to go back to maps, they got to, like I say, be macroing. You know, I don't know. I think macro maps get a lot of love in terms of you remember them because a lot of good games happened on them. I really feel like they just picked three very similar maps, honestly, so... Banshee's going to come about, going to get 5 drones. Going to be some workers getting dropped. Thank you so much for another level 2 over on the Star Trek Fleet Command. Around, then bam. Let's see. Nailed the name this time. 1-1 upgrades, combat shield. Continue to come through. The Marines is going to get a stim in for a whole bunch of creep teamers, so we're going to be able to knock a lot down here as ByuN continues to pressure up. There is a counterattack going on that's catching a few Marines. Those lings are going to leak into the third base of ByuN. And the fourth base building there as well as ByuN eats a couple of Baneling connections right from the start. He's 1-1 to 0-0 right now. Is that good enough for him to actually stand and fight this? It looks like he is doing pretty well. Actually cleaned up a lot more lings there than I initially thought that he would. And I think that does just come down to the fact that he was able to kind of have the upgrades to kind of just stand in there and continue to fight that for a little while. Hydrogen Hive continue to come through. The Marines are going to be there. Zerglings are going to get pushed back away to the bottom corner, so they're going to get chased out. Again, Hydrogen coming up. The Hive still building. A couple of additional Banelings morphing in from Dark. Marines step up. We'll see a couple of creep teamers going down. Again, a Hive about to finish through. The additional barracks coming in. The armory continues as well. Just going to be seeing our Marines continue to be added into play. Wouldn't mind about halfway done. Planetary Fortress coming up. Concussive shells will start from ByuN as well. Again, 3 extra barracks coming up. Marine's going to get underneath. The Overlord goes down. Again, concussive shells coming through. The 2-2 upgrades are still coming by. And Marine Marauder coming out. 54 additional Zerglings currently being added into play. So that's a lot of lings coming up. The Burrow upgrade and the Adrenal Gland's going to be a part of that now. Marines will get rid of a couple of creep tumors. Those Zerglings just going to charge forward, and the Medivacs will load up a chunk of those Marines from the very get-go and just evacuate. Throwing back towards some Widow Mines here. This Widow Mine should just unburrow. There's no need for it to fire when the Marines are playing cleanup anyway. Hey, Furious George, thank you so much for the level 2 in the Star Trek as well. These Marines will continue to get in between the gaps there, just joining up together. Again, 2-2, Drilling Claws, plus 1 vehicle plating coming up and online. A Marine Marauder Medivac. Still being produced on through. A couple of Widow Mine shots continue to hit some of the Zerglings as the Ling Bane continues to step forward as well. Our Marines still fighting. Queens, Hydras, and Lings continue over as well. And we will see this Army of Dark pulling back up to the top for the moment. Again, 7 drones going down as we still see the Drilling Claws and the 2-2 upgrades all continuing in as well. Again, Widow Mines, Medivacs, coming up also here currently as our adrenal gland is about to finish up. We're going to see the muscular, nanomuscular swell coming through as well, so we can get those Hydra's tails stronger than ever before, swell them up, and they'll be able to lunge on in and commit to some fights that they might not have been able to commit to previously as the Hydras force the Medivacs to lift up and pull away. We might as well start a burrow here. Banes are just going to roll forward, crashing into a lot of this bio as well, continue to knock those Banelings down. The Hydras now pull back over to the left side as well. Once again, Medivacs are loading up here. And just going to be seeing a 2-2 upgrade still coming through. That's about a finish from ByuN. Going to equalize the upgrades. He once had an upgrade lead in this game, but now they're equalized, so ByuN forgetting his upgrades at some point. Dark being very good at continuously bringing those forward has been making a difference here for the moment as our Lingbane Hydra still gathers together. Overseer's overhead. Yeah, those Medivacs continue to move around. A couple of units going to start splitting apart as the fusion core comes up. The starport is halfway done. So you've seen the Lingbane Hydra starting to move through. Lings and Banes from both sides. Widowmine shots going off on a bunch of those Lings. Bio going to get slammed. Hydras are going to surge on through, and a couple of the Medivacs getting shot down immediately. With immediate effect now, those Medivacs have to go retreating away, pull back towards the bottom side as the Bio gathers back up there as well. Regathering for a few moments. Again, the fusion core coming through, the command centers continuing to play. The 9 additional lurkers are still being added in there on top of everything else for the moment. Nidus in that bottom right-hand corner, so just going to be seeing that dropping down over the next few moments as we will see the upgrades continue to come over. That's going to be the Lings stepping forward as well, but the Bio gets there, pushes that Lingbane away just like that, as now we're going to be seeing these Lings still trying to force their way forward here. Just going to be having Dark get into a cool position because these Lurkers are going to cover the high ground as well, so multiple issues right now for ByuN. He's going to start losing his engineering base, plus 3 armor falls already. He is counterattacking. Banelings will not do enough there, although there's the rest of the Banes, and ByuN cannot target fire down enough of them. ByuN just going to get overwhelmed as Dark hits with one fatal swarm, and that is going to be good enough to send us to a 1-0 lead for Dark. Oh man, maybe it's time for ByuN to consider kind of making these series about some different maps and kind of forcing these maps to be a little bit more kind of like, okay, I'm going to be a bit more aggressive than playing for like big macro kind of all the base late games. Which, don't get me wrong, if ByuN gets there, that's great, but Dark is just killing him before he gets to those stages, or taking control enough that ByuN is never comfortable to truly play out those kind of those kind of games either. Dark on the bottom right side is our blue Zerg, currently leading 1-0 in this best of 3. ByuN in the bottom left is also proxying the barracks for this game number 2. Well, there's a switch up. Yep, this series is not going my way. I'm having trouble in that game 1. It's very reminiscent of the other games I've played against Dark recently. I'm all about just throwing the barracks down. He's even going to go 3 barracks as well. So really, as aggressive as you can be, ByuN going to be fully committed with the proxy racks play. And away we go, all through those racks still continuing through. Hatch gas and pool coming up as well. So bring that hatch gas and pool up and online. Just going to be seeing, the Overlord about to spot this and Dark. Just here with the second Overlord, so we'll not be in time to kind of pull drones defensively against it. But obviously is in time to, start now planning his defense and figuring out what exactly it's going to be that he does to try and make something happen here. Dark does some sad faces. I'm not sure what ByuN is laughing at specifically, right? I actually, Dark just being sad maybe that he's proxying. I'm not sure that there's something specific about it as the drones pull forward, the few Marines and SCVs pull back. Obviously, Dark with a lot of drone commitment. He does not want to let a bunker up. He's buying time for a spine crawler. He knows that with the 3 racks, this is a serious investment. And he's taking it very seriously by pulling the drones himself. Gonna start chasing those Marines down. Chases very far. So really pushing them back quite a distance now. As the Marines are still going to be able to take a step forward. So kind of stepping up and moving down toward the main base. Drones are still going to be there. A single Marine taking a few more shots. maybe a cancel on the bunkers. The couple lings will get there as well, so going to be able to knock that down, clean that out. Again, Spine Crawler finishing up. A couple more drones continue to come by. So honestly, it looks like a fairly decent defense so far. The problem being is now these drones are kind of stuck out on the map, so you're missing so many drones that you're kind of just meant to have. He's going to start mining through the... Oh, that's kind of cute. Mine through the bottom, and you can evacuate them back into the natural by mining through the gold mineral lines. Okay. Obviously, these drones not mining is a problem, though, right? Because the longer that these are not mined for, the more money you miss out, and that's less you can defend with, as now you're basically playing defense off of, what, a Spine Crawler? Some Lings? They actually lost the Queen as well, my goodness, okay. I don't think Dark ever survives this, actually, as these Spines... Oh, these Marines are going to come through, GG gets called, and that's going to be a very quick win for ByuN. It's kind of turned into a weird defense where, like I say, clearly Dark felt like he had to go and, you know, pull those drones through, but these things are very well made. If you go through the link and you download from the link, they really do work. It's a very tried and tested system at this point. So, yeah. WardiTV monitoring the new ships added to his fleet. Well, you know, just keeping an eye out for the people putting some love into the stream. As we get game number 3 in the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player here is Dark, taking on the red Terran in the bottom right corner of the map. This is ByuN from the Shopify Rebellion, of course. As we enter game 3, let me get this going. Is there a Wardy Alliance? Yes, there is, but you have to... So, if you go to your settings, you can click Universes, and then we are in Universe 105. I think it's 105, and it's called Newton, I think. So you have to move to that universe, which you can do for free when you're still low level. So yes, you can join the Wardy Alliance via that. We actually, if we get 4 more people to join the Wardy Alliance, and we level it up to 15, which I think we can do very easily, I can actually submit that to the sponsorship and we get paid extra money. So if you do want to swap on over to 105 and you do want to join the Alliance, then that is actually kind of helpful. As we take a moment with the barracks at home from ByuN, this game is not going to set off into a crazy manner in the immediate few moments. Going to take a little bit of setting up at the very least. There's the Reaper and the Orbital, both continue to come on through, and we get it going. Get this rolling. Is this live? Yes, all the Monday games are always live. WardiTV Mondays is a live Open Cup, so the entire bracket, the entire tournament is playing out as we speak. Well, that just coming up and drawing production. 105 must be full or no longer available. Really? Damn. We got skamazzled. I wonder why it put me on such a one that was so far back. Are you in Europe, by the way? Because I think it's I think it's based by region as well, so maybe that's it. But yeah, it's kind of confusing. I don't know why I'm on 105. Like, I would have thought it would put me on a newer one, as these few lings are going to go chasing down a Reaper. Dark with no gas taken early in this game. It gives him a very fast third hatchery, and obviously means that he is going to be on slow lings for a while. Potential then for the Hellions to do more, trying to run by. Sponsor's afraid of the Wardy Alliance getting too big? Yes, absolutely. Terrified. Terrified. They realized we could actually take over that game if we wanted to. They start out... It turns out they end up paying us for us to run that game. Something like that. Reaper gets out of there, as you do, obviously, again, not have any Lings speed coming up, so the Reaper and Hellions can stay on the map a bit longer than usual. What was the name of the alliance? It's just called Wardy, just like my Twitch name. But like I say, I think you have to be on Europe and you have to switch over to Universe 105 or Server 105, because I think that's what I'm on. If you guys can't join 105, maybe I could move to a different server actually and make it on a different server. Maybe we could do that. So yeah, if multiple people can't join 105, then maybe we could just move it to a different server that we can all join. That also works. As a couple of Hellions the Reaper move through, the Marine is going to be there to whack away at the Overlord for a few moments. Creep team is coming up, Extractor's coming in. A couple of barracks and engineering bays continue to build as well. Drop a little grenade down. Queens are going to be taking some shots. Damage being dealt. Once again, those engineering bays continue to come up and online. The Queens are going to get there to pick off a Marine. The Marine goes down already. And the Queen's going to continue over, and we'll continue to chase those Hellions for a few moments. Barracks coming up. The engineering bay continue to produce SCVs. Still building. Just for now. Again, the starboard coming online, the extra barracks coming through. Let's see, our Queen's whacking away at those Hellions as we'll get rid of one of them. Second Hellion taking some damage as well, also going to take some shots. The barracks, the 1-1 upgrades, and everything continue to come online for the moment as, again, our starport will finish up very shortly. Ratchet comes through and gets a couple of drones just around its timeout. It should go down as it hops to the main base. Sees the lair coming through as well. Still, of course, still no Ling speed because we've been playing super late gas and then prioritizing everything else instead. Ling's going to hit. Reaper will go down. The rest of the Marines still gathering up over on the main. Just going to get those all joined together. Still got our Medivacs, 1-on upgrades and combat shield coming through as the armory and depots continue to build. Well, yeah, that finishes up. 26 additional Zerglings on the way out from dock, so all of those come through. The melee upgrade building as we speak. The Baneling speed is going to come online. The reactors just across the board coming up. The armory is going to be halfway done. And again, a Widow Mine, couple Widow Mines, SCVs will continue to build as well. So all of that comes online for the moment. Little stim up, gonna get rid of a couple creep teamers. The Queenling Bane moves down this ramp right away. Just gonna be seeing the Queen still stepping up, chasing those Marines a little bit. We turn around for Queen. Now the Queens push the Marines back the other direction again. Still got our 1-1 upgrades coming through. The combat shield coming online. And again, the melee upgrade continues to build through for the moment. That Bane speed is not far from finishing up, and the 11 additional drones will come into play as well. Well, his infestation pit is going to be, what, about halfway done in the next few moments. Still got a melee upgrade, still got our burrow upgrade continuing to come through, so Dark with the burrow especially can obviously be pretty aggressive with some banelings. Some burrowed banes around the map are always going to have potential to kind of come in and shock and surprise. Kind of excited for those banelings to come in and show us a little bit of something, so excited to see what they may be able to do. As we do have a Hydra Den building, a Ling Bane continuing. Again, Burrow coming online, Carapace in the melee coming through. A third Evo chamber, I guess, because he wants to start missile upgrades for the Hydras already. So apparently that's going to become a priority here in the next few moments. Going to be seeing those Lings going to come over. So a lot of SCVs going down. That's a run by from Doc. My goodness, 15 workers just die instantly. Wow. Oh, I was kind of excited to start seeing some Burrowed Banes. Maybe we still will, but Gun's already going to be hurting a lot. So that is going to suck for him a little, as we are going to go for the Hydra Den in the back here. Queens have transfusions, but they do not drop them. So Hydra Den does indeed fall. Now Dark will just be on Ling Bane. Is that going to be good enough? I'm not sure. Just get a clean up there. Cleaning up those Marines is big. Getting rid of the drop play, meaning that ByuN just has to play this in a very different manner. Continuing through definitely has an impact. Triple Evolution Chamber now fully operation as the Carapace and missiles will be level 1. Melee will start up at level 2. Again, a few more Marines still gathering up. SCVs coming through. The additional barracks are building as well. That Medivac moving around the top side. Widow Mines are going to burrow here. Marines are still stepping forward. Just going to be seeing a couple of Widow Mine shots doing some good damage on the Ling Bane, but not good enough. Once more, ByuN is forced to lift up and back away immediately, so just falling straight out of this one. Couple more Widow Mines trying to get on the go. That Widow Mine is going to go down, so that Widow Mine falls. The Medevac still peeling back over the right-hand side for a few moments. Even more Banelings crashing into that third base. ByuN has definitely not had a great time economy-wise. He's lost a lot of economy pretty repeatedly in this game just because those run-bys have been so good for him. I mean, that Ling run-by that got 15 SCVs was so quick and just deadly as well. And that is an issue as ByuN. Money in the bank, too, to spend, by the way. I guess About to Start 3-3 is going to eat up a lot of that, but... yeah, I mean... just, feels as though Doc is definitely walking to a, pretty good advantage here. Going to use these Banes to knock down the depots. They'll instantly be replaced. One Baneling apparently left over gets into the mineral line to soften up the SCVs. Now the depots are back in place already, so no time wasted by ByuN is important because these Lings obviously want to break through. They knock one depot down again, but will not be able to get there. Hydra still coming by, +2 melee, muscular augments coming through for the moment. Just going to be seeing the Marines and the Medevacs continue to join together. Banes roll up this ramp, but they're going to have the depots to bust through. I actually wouldn't have minded the Banes just crashing into the triple depot, especially one of them called down supply. ByuN would actually get supply blocked off of it. They step up, Overlords. Okay, this time the Banes do commit. I wonder if ByuN was just busy elsewhere. Actually going to take the fight in the center as well. On the edge of creep, I thought if there was a moment to commit, that might have been it, but apparently Dog didn't like it. ByuN's army supply pretty good right now. As Dog, did he commit too much to the counterattacks? He needs to survive over here. It's the age-old problem for Zerg surviving. And one last Terran push, and that's where we are at. Dog is running back. He's trying to do what he can to get some units up to play defense. These Marines are already heavily stimmed as well, so they are hurting too. It's not going to take much. Scanning ahead, very important from ByuN, especially in a world where Dark can burrow up Banelings to ruin ByuN's day. The drones are going to pull forward, tank for the Hydras a little bit. Some Banes show up, forces the lift, and Dark is going to turn ByuN around. But ByuN still has a massive army supply advantage at the moment. Engineering base saves, so 3-3 upgrades will continue to come through as well, so that will continue to live for now as well. What's up, DJ Crispia? Thank you so much. 19-month resub on the Prime. Bane Hydra gets to the corner. The Medevacs get forced to lift up, and they have to back away as well. Still got the Nanomuscular Swell coming through, so we continue to build that into action here, as we do have the Marines continue to get going. 35 dead SCVs. ByuN's economy is hurting, but again, it's Dark's army that needs to recover, and that is going to be the struggle for him to get enough units back online to survive another wave of Terran. This is good, catching a few units here and there. That's where Dark can absolutely find some value. Of course, ByuN is going to be on 3-3 upgrades, so his army's going to be better than it was before as well. Still got, again, +2 missiles. About to finish up. The +2 carapace is not far from being done. Marines and Widow Mines step forward. Just going to get onto the creep spread. Just going to see those Hydras going to go after a bunch of those Marines as well, so clearing those out. Marines going to stand there as a couple of Banes do begin to commit in. The Marines now coming through. Widow Mine's going to go off onto a bunch of Zerglings, so Zerglings going to take a lot of damage off the Widow Mine connections. So damage being done there as well. Still got our +2 carapace coming up. Widow Mine and Marines still building through. Again, the Lings, the Banes, everything else continues to get settled here as we just have the Lings once more going to show up on that right-hand side. Medevac has to lift up and we have to evacuate away. He's trying to step forward once more. Bane Hydra can have a few of the Banes connecting through, but Dark just doesn't have enough. ByuN is going to get it done on the final attacks. Wow. Always a wild time between these two, as that is going to be ByuN taking the 2-1, advancing through to today's